Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning. Okay, today we're going to start on chapter 3. Chapter 3 is on the integration. Okay, previously we have learned on the construction project management, the sustainability in chapter 1, chapter 2. So today we're going to learn on the integration of this. The content of chapter 3 is the idea on the integration, the management functions, the organizational structures, typical project deliveries, ICT in construction. So in chapter 1, you already learned about the construction project management, okay? And then in chapter 2, the concept of sustainability, sustainable development and sustainable construction. So chapter 3, today we're going to learn on the integration, both the sustainability and also the construction project and management. Okay, so who involved in this, who responsible in this, and who are significantly actually take part in the integration. Okay, so this is actually the typical current standard of top level project life cycle model, which is start with project starting, project organizing, definition, planning, project execution, and project close out. Okay, so let's do some revision. Who are responsible for every phase in construction project? You still remember? Okay, in site phase, okay, site phase. Can you see my cursor? Site phase. So who actually involved, responsible for the site phase? So site manager responsible for site activities. So what are the activities under this orange circle on site? What are the activities? We have the project organization chart, project site office, logistic plan, special regulations, safety and health, and environmental controls. It's on the site, okay? Temporary access, traffic requirements, utilities, temporary utilities, temporary construction utility service, okay, labor, special construction equipment, work, storage, contractors, and then material purchase. So this is the activities involved in this site phase, okay? And then we go to construction phase, okay? So in construction phase, who actually is responsible for all activities in the construction phase? The construction manager, which is the engineer, okay? So, and then in construction project life cycle, the person responsible that covers throughout the project life cycle is project manager. Okay, this is what we learn in chapter 1. Okay, there are a lot of people involved in these 3 different scopes and phases. So that is why we need a proper system to make it more organized and systematic. So the whole construction project life cycle, which involve this, everything that we learned in chapter 1, and the combination. So this is actually the combination of construction project life cycle that we learned in previous chapter. Okay, chapter 1. So there are types of management approach for construction project. We have this organizational. Okay, organizational fits better as far as construction project realms concerned. The organizational approach fits better. All right. So it is because management in construction project consists of more than 2%, which entirely form an organization. So organization must have more than 2%. Kalau seorang macam mana kita nak buka satu organisasi kan? So must have more than 2%. Because for the life cycle of construction project, we have so many people involved, okay? And then scientific. Okay, this is involved with mathematical or quantitative measurement approach. For example, problem solving, simulation, operational research. Okay, and then bureaucracy, human relation, system, and contingencies. Okay, so contingencies or situational approach is actually depends on the condition. So this is different approach to manage. So we have the classical approach, which is on the scientific management approach, administrative approach, and bureaucratic approach. We have neoclassical approach, which focus on the behavioral science approach, quantitative and contingency approach. And we have modern approach also. Okay, so let's go deeper. What is the organizational about? So this is definition of organization: group of people who have different talents, okay, working together towards a common goal. So we have one goal, but with a group people that have different talents. Okay, so combine. This is the CEO, and then combine with other groups of people with different talents. So organization is a unit within company where many projects are managed as whole. So we have one unit to control or to manage the project. So all projects within an organization share a common top level manager and common policies, because we have one controller here. The controller that actually control or manage the whole project. So we have one top level manager, and these people below the controller have a common policies that actually designed by the controller. So the process of organizing, planning, leading, and controlling resources within an entity with overall aim of achieving its objective. So that is the organization. Okay. The organizational management of a business needs to be able to make decisions and resolve issues in order to be both effective and beneficial. Impact of effective organization: you will have proper implementation of works, easy to make decision, minimize misspend and corruption, and easy to make plan. So with this, effective organization may lead to a success project and sustainability. Okay, so that's why we need an effective organization. Management function in organization approach have three management function, which is on the planning, which is action to guide project completion, and followed by organizing. So first we need to plan, organize, and after that control. Okay, so first, before you start, you plan. So this is actually to guide the project completion. After that, organize, which is a range of resources in a systematic manner to fit the project plan. And lastly, after you have organized, you need to control. Kalau tak control, nanti habislah staff-staff naik kepala kan. Alright, so some of the workers, if you do not control, they start to come late. They just waiting for the date to receive the salary. Okay, so that's why you need to control. To establish our system to measure, report, and forecast deviation in the project scope, budget, and schedule. Not only you need to control the resources, you need to control the whole project. Okay, the scope of the project, the budget, the schedule, the material, the resources. Okay, and you also need to forecast. Okay, based on your experience, based on the previous project, how you want to manage the project. Okay, so planning, it is a process of determining in advance what should be accomplished, when, by whom, how, and what cost. Okay, so planning is a decision-making process. It is making decision on future course of action, and also planning involves taking decision on vision, mission, values, objective, strategies, policies, and organization. So planning is very important. So planning is done for intermediate, short-term, medium-term, and long-term periods. So it is a guideline for execution or implementation, and it is a measure to check the effectiveness and efficiency of organization. So after you plan, how you want to organize. So organize is the process of establishing formal relationship among people and resources in order to reach specific goals and objectives. So you have your goal aim for your project. Under your aim, you have a few objectives, how you want to achieve the aim. Okay. So in organizing effort, managers must choose an appropriate structure. Organizational structure is represented primarily by an organizational chart, because we have actually three types of organization. Later we will learn about this. It specifies who is to do what and how it will be accomplished. So it depends on our aim and objective and our resources, our cost, and the management. Okay, how we want to manage the project. The organization stage provides direction for achieving the planning results. There are several aspects to organizing: time, structure, chain of command, degree of centralization, and role specification. So organizing involves determination and grouping of the activities. Okay. So designing organization structure and departmentation based on this grouping, defining the roles and responsibilities of the department and of the job position within this department. So it depends on the type of organization that we want to run our project. Defining relationship between department and job position, and also defining authorities for departments and job position. Okay, that's why we have three types that we will go detail after this. Number 3 is controlling. So it includes verifying the actual execution against the plan to ensure that execution is being done in accordance with the plans. Because we had our plans, and then we want to control so that everything is done accordingly to our plan. Okay. It measures actual performance against the plan. Okay, because on site, okay, when you had this design, everything that had done, so you will run the construction. Okay, so the performance, the actual progress will be also quantified. We will also compare with the plan progress. Okay, look at the difference, and then the payment also will be done according to the actual plan. Okay, so why we need to compare between the plan and also the actual progress? Because we want to make sure at the end, our execution will be followed as we plan. Okay, so if the project is according to the plan that we want to finish within end of the year, so we should achieve the target on the actual progress. So kena capai target, nak siapkan hujung tahun ni. And then it sets standards on norm of performance, whether our project is delay or our project on progress. So we, by doing the comparison on the plans and actual progress. It measures the effectiveness and efficiency of execution against this standard and the plans. So it's very important for the project manager to manage, not only controlling, actually to manage, because it's in the project manager involved with the starting of the project, means on the planning, on the organizing, and also on the controlling. Okay. It periodically reviews, evaluates, and monitors the performance. If the gap are found between execution levels and the plan, controlling function involve suitable correction action to expedite the execution to match up with the plan. Or in certain circumstances deciding to make modification in the plans. Okay, we need to think fast. The project manager need to think fast how to solve the problems. Okay, for example, the design that have been delivered to the contractor on the first phase on the how you want to do the piling, for example, using the hydraulic jack, for example, okay, not the piling rigs using the hammer. Dia guna hydraulic jack. Okay, bila hydraulic jack, the machine is very big and very heavy. Okay, there are one project in Muar. Bila dia sampai dekat site, the hydraulic jack, and then the tak guna lagi ni, dia dah settle down. Baru letak mesin je dekat site, dah settle down. So the project manager need to propose to change the method of piling. Kena tukar method of piling macam mana. So and then how he want to, because when you want to change the method, you need to wait for the another process. Kena buat surat, kena buat working paper, and then dah lulus baru boleh tukar. It will take some time. So you need to actually do something to modify the plans so that it can finish within time. Okay. So management function in organizational approach, we have leading, coordinating, and staffing. Okay. So leading involves the social and informal sources of influence that used to inspire action taken by others. So leading is very important. Sebab kalau leader tu tak bagus, nanti tak ada orang nak buat kerja, kan? They don't have the respect to the boss, to the leader. So you gain the respect, okay, with your good attitude, with your good leadership, okay. And then coordinating, the synchronization and integration of activities, responsibilities, and command and control structure to ensure that resources of organization are used more efficiently in pursuit of the specific objective. So need to do the management. And then staffing, selection of individuals who have the expertise to produce the work. Bukannya pakai kabel sekarang staff dah ada orang dah telefon dah kat belakang. So yang ada orang yang lebih capable tak dapat. So leading involves motivating, communicating, guiding, encouraging. It requires the manager to coach, assist and problem solve with employees. Not only, bukan mengarah aja. Not only give instructions. Okay, dia bagi arahan je. Buat apa, tapi dia sendiri tak ada bagi contoh. Good leadership. And then coordinating. Okay, in coordinating we have two forms of coordination, which is vertical reporting to supervisors and to your staff, and also horizontal reporting to your colleagues and your management team. Okay, so adults and extension educators are usually involved in very complex organizations such as governments, colleges and universities and board of education. Macam for example in universities, when we receive our subjects, our course to give lecture, then we know already what is our responsibilities. Okay, so we have horizontal reporting. So in universities, we do not actually directly report to the dean. So because we have another head of department, and after head of department we have TDAA, Timbalan Dekan Akademik, TDHEPA, Timbalan Dekan Hak Ehwal Pelajar, Timbalan Dekan Penyelidikan. Okay, and then after that we have the dean. Okay, so comparing with site construction, you need to report to the boss above you. Okay, so kalau dekat site manager. Okay, site manager report dekat project manager. So dia naik atas. So you have in construction we have vertical reporting. So how then can effective coordination be accomplished? Coordination need professional, competent leadership, a democratic style that leads to trust, open communication and ease of information flow. Okay, so that's why we need technology. Zaman dulu kalau bagi instruction pakai mulut. Biasa main yang telefon buruk tu tak? So the first person will talk to the second person will talk to the third person. But at the end, the information is totally different with the first person. Tu yang communication dia jadi salah. Dia punya arahan tu jadi salah. So coordination needs a constant definition and communication of mission and objective that are understood by all managers. Coordination to be effective must have open two ways channels of communication, bukannya one way. Bila one way, you work in the silo. Arahan, terima arahan je, masing-masing buat kerja masing-masing. But two way, you can give suggestion to your boss. Coordination involves sharing atmosphere as well as commonly agreed on direction, because effective coordination requires cooperation and communication. Okay. For example, generasi X, generasi Y tu dah you all lah kan, Z generation je, dah terror sangat dah pakai ICT, semua pakai telefon apa semua kan. Kalau generasi yang awal dulu, bos awak yang dah tua tu tak reti sangat nak guna komputer, betul tak? So you need to have cooperation, sebab dengan ICT tu sebenarnya boleh memberi satu activities yang lebih efektif. Okay, contoh macam for example communication. Okay, instead of we have meetings, deliver hard copy semua, we have phones to give directions that can be read and can be understand with the staff, instead of oral communication. Okay, kita arahkan dekat, okay, the CEO give oral communication to the project manager and the project manager misunderstood on that, and then dia bagi arahan yang salah dekat site engineer for example, kan. So itu yang kita perlukan ICT so that we can improve our communication. Contoh macam online class lah, guna Google Classroom dan sebagainya. So dekat sekolah, dekat Malaysia tak semua sekolah guna Google Classroom. Ada lagi yang pakai WhatsApp dan sebagainya. Macam contoh anak saya, dia terpaksa tulis attendance dekat WhatsApp. Baru je nak type, contohnya dia nama anak saya panjang, 3 ketul nama dia. Nama ayah dia pula lagi 3 ketul, 6 ketul nama nak kena tulis. Okay. Baru je tengah type nama, dah naik. Contohnya dia nombor 9 lah, tengah tulis nama dia, dah naik nombor 9 orang lain. So dia kena copy, tulis dia pula nombor 10. Cikgu dia masih lagi guna macam tu. And then kalau lambat, even lambat 1 minit tulis nama tu, before class start, dia dianggap tidak hadir. Kejam tak cikgu dia? Dah lah guna kaedah yang tak efektif. Lepas tu dia strict sangat. And then the meeting techniques is still the most effective format for ensuring the interrelationship among the various job responsibilities. And then staffing. It includes manpower of human resource planning, a key aspect of managing an adult and extension enterprise is to find the right people for the right job. Ini penting kan? Right people for the right job. Okay. Dalam sekarang susah cari kerja, and then you need to compete with many people. For example, adik saya pergi interview, nak pakai seorang je, tapi yang datang almost 100 for that one position. And that ramai pula yang dah tua-tua, yang ada experience. Macam mana you nak compete? You ada fresh graduate, kan? Of course kalau macam saya sebagai bos, mesti saya nak yang dah ada experience, because kalau dah ada experience, kita dah tak payah cerita banyak, dia dah faham dah apa dia nak buat. Okay, much of one's success as a manager is related to appropriate human resource planning, regardless of whether it is the hiring of a secretary and instructor for a particular workshop. The staffing function consists of several elements, which is human resource planning, recruitment, staffing. It also involves selection, induction, positioning the people in the organization, decision of remuneration package are part of staffing. Training, retraining, developing, mentoring, counseling. Okay, it also includes performance appraisal, designing and administering the motivational package. Contoh macam kerajaan bagi bonus hujung tahun macam tu. Tapi biasa kalau private company, they give more bonus lah. Sebulan gaji, 2 bulan gaji macam tu. Sebab they don't really have other benefits as contohnya leave, cuti. Kalau kerja kerajaan, cuti weekend 2 hari, 2 days. Tapi kalau private, biasanya dia cuti 1 hari je. Ataupun 1 hari tengah, dia mungkin ada hari Sabtu yang half day macam tu. And then the allowance macam tu lah. But the basic salary will be much less compared to the private, and the bonus pun kerajaan bagi 500, 700 lah, tahun ni dapat 700 macam tu lah. Tapi tak adalah buang kerja. COVID pun kerja still on. Tak ada yang kena buang kerja. Okay. And then the management function in organizational approach is forecasting, directing and motivating. So total kita dah ada 7 9 Okay. So the forecasting is the act of predicting business activity for the future period of time. So how we want to forecast based on the experience that we had run a previous project. Okay. And then directing is a guidance of the work required to complete the project, and motivating by giving incentive, persuasion and mental physical stimulants to influence the way people think or behave individually or in groups. So you need to give motivation sebab bila dah lama, contoh macam kerja kilang kan, you doing the same thing every day. So after few years, you will be demotivated. So the leader need to motivate our worker by giving incentive or giving appreciation. Okay, contoh macam every we have excellent staff, dapat RM1,000 kalau staff tu excellent. Kita ada award macam tu, anugerah lah. Okay. So directing is one of the most important function of management to translate company's plan into execution. It include providing leadership to people so that they will work willingly, and directing people involved, motivating them all the time to enthuse them to give their best. Communicating company's plan throughout the organization is an important directing activities, and directing is actually also means coordinating various people and their activities. So you coordinate all people's and their activities. Okay. So directing aims at achieving the best, not just out of an individual, but achieving the best through the group of team of people through team building efforts. So you need to actually, because sometimes not only in construction, in any company, also in the university, college, contohnya, memang ada yang some workers after several years they working, they become demotivated, jadi malas, jadi dah malas nak, even kelas ada yang tak buat kelas, macam tu lah. So how we want to make sure that the motivation is keep on increasing. Macam mana nak buat? Increasing je, naik je. Tak ada yang tension, depressed dan sebagainya. Who is fully responsible to ensure the organization management functions well? Siapa yang bertanggungjawab? Of course, the answer is project manager. So what is the project manager's roles in planning? Dia ada develop plans, establish project activities and performance, involve all discipline managers and key staff, establish clear and well-defined milestones in the project, build contingencies into the plan, and avoid reprogramming or replanning, prepare formal agreements, and communicate the project plan to clearly define individual responsibilities, schedule, and budget. In organizing, the manager's roles is to organize the project, develop a work breakdown structure, WBS, work breakdown structure, WBS, then you can arrange the activities. So the activities tu mesti daripada phases. Satu group, bawah dia ada group lagi. Okay, contoh macam awak tulis novel lah. Bab 1. Okay, dalam bab 1 tu ada 1.1, 1.2 kan. Macam tu juga WBS. Ada satu group, bawah tu ada lagi anak-anak dia. And then establish a project organisation chart, define clearly the authority and responsibility for all project team members. And in staffing, managers' roles in staffing is to define clearly the work to be performed, provide an effective orientation, explain clearly to the team what is expected, and solicit each team member's input clearly. In directing, the project manager's roles serve as effective leader, show interest and enthusiasm, be available to the project staff, analyze and investigate problems, obtain the resource needed, and recognize the importance of team members. And in controlling, to maintain a record of plan, maintain a current milestone, and maintain a monthly project cost chart. All right. Types of organization that I've mentioned before, we have 3, which is functional, matrix, and project-based. Okay. So before we start, what is the basic of organizational structure? So the organizational structure is defined as formal coordinating and communication patterns by management to resume tasks or define responsibilities of individuals in the group. Okay. The structure actually determines the division of works, responsibilities, cooperation, consultation, decision making, and information flows. So here it depends on the group size, the task, the goal, products or services that will produce and achieve, and dynamic factors such as technology, the rate of change in the environment, and type of work related. Then we will decide which organizational structure that's suitable for the project based on these 3 structure. Okay. So the project organizational structure, 3 types, which is functional, matrix, and pure project. These 3 types have different characteristics, advantages and disadvantages. So let's see the video.
Organizational structure. Organizational structure influences the authority of the project manager and influences that how projects are conducted. All organizations are structured in one of 3 ways: functional, projectized, or matrix. Matrix organization structure is further divided into 3 types: strong matrix, balanced matrix, and weak matrix. Project manager authority and organizational structures. In a functional organization, project authority rests with a functional manager. In any projectized organization, it rests with a project manager. A matrix organization tries to be somewhere in between these 2. In a strong matrix, the authority is with a project manager, just like in a projectized organization. In a weak matrix, the authority is with a functional manager, just like in a functional organization. And in a balanced matrix, the authority over the project is shared by both the functional manager and the project manager. Now, let us understand the functional organization. A functional organization structure is a hierarchical type of organizational structure, wherein people are grouped as per their area of specialization and supervised by the functional manager with expertise in the same field. This way, their skills can be effectively utilized, and the organization's objective can be achieved. The functional organizational structure is suitable for an organization which has ongoing operations, such as manufacturing and production. A functional organization is divided into various specific departments, like human resource, marketing, finance, and operations. The below figure represents a classic functional organization, where each employee has one clear superior. Grouping occurs from top level down to the bottom level, for example, accounting, engineering, or marketing. Project work of each group is performed independently from other groups. Now, let us see the advantages and disadvantages of a functional organization. Its advantages are as follows. It is a stable organization structure. Employees have a career growth path with separation of functions. Employees have one supervisor with a clear chain of command. Disadvantages of functional organization are as follows. Project manager has little to no formal authority. Multiple projects compete for limited resources and priority, and project team members will likely to remain loyal to their functional manager. Projectized organizations. Projectized organizations are nearly the opposite of functional organizations. The focus of this type of organization is the project itself. The idea behind a projectized organization is to develop loyalty to the project, not to a functional manager. In a projectized organization, the project manager has all the power and authority, and everybody directly reports to the project manager. The following figure illustrates a projectized organization. Team members are often collocated. Team resources can either report directly to the project manager or provide support services to the various projects. And project managers almost always have ultimate authority over the project in this structure and report directly to the Chief Executive Officer. Now, let us see the advantages and disadvantages of a projectized organization. Its advantages are as follows. It has a clear line of authority, strong communications with a single reporting system, and flexibility in trade-offs and fast decision-making. The disadvantages of projectized organizations are as follows. Authority and power can make the project manager arrogant. The work environment can be stressful because there is always a deadline. If the project gets elongated, the cost of employees and equipment can go higher. Let's understand the matrix organizations. Matrix organizations came about to minimize the differences between, take advantage of the strengths, and reduce weaknesses of the functional and projectized organizations. The best of both organizational structures can be realized by combining them into one. Employees in a matrix organization report to one functional manager and to at least one project manager. A matrix organization structure is further divided into three types. They are weak matrix, balanced matrix, and strong matrix. Weak matrix. In a weak matrix, the project manager has a part-time role with very limited power and authority. The team members are only assigned to projects for 25% or less of their time. For the rest of the time, they go back to functional assignments. The role of project manager will be more like a coordinator or an expediter. A weak matrix structure is very close to the functional organization structure. The below figure reflects a blend of functional organizations, which is classified as a weak matrix structure. The project expediter works as a staff assistant and communications coordinator, but they do not make or enforce decisions. Project coordinators make some decisions because they have some authority, and they report to a higher level manager. Balanced matrix. In a balanced matrix, power is shared between the functional manager and the project manager. Although the project manager has a full-time role, he has only part-time project management administrative staff under him. Up to 60% of the project team in a balanced matrix structure are full-timers. In a balanced matrix structure, the project manager is assigned on a full-time basis. However, support staff are usually part-time rather than being fully dedicated to the project. Strong matrix. In a strong matrix, most authority and power lies with the project manager. The percentage of people on the project team assigned and dedicated to a single project may run as high as 90%. In a strong matrix, the project manager is assigned full-time and has a full-time support staff. However, the support staff still have dual reporting lines with both their functional managers and the project manager. Following are the advantages and disadvantages of the matrix organization structures. Advantages of matrix organization are as follows. It has highly visible project objectives. It improves project management control over resources. It has more support from functional areas. The disadvantages of a matrix organization are as follows. It requires extra administration. It requires more than one boss for project teams. It is more complex to monitor and control. The influence of project manager in different organizational structures is explained below. In functional organization structure, the project manager has little or no authority and is often a part-time person that has a part-time project management administrative staff. The functional manager manages the project budget. The functional structure is the weakest of all. In a weak matrix, the project manager has limited authority. The role of project manager is part-time, and it may have part-time administrative staff to help expedite the project. The functional manager manages the project budget. In a balanced matrix, the project manager has reasonable authority. The role of a project manager is full-time, who may have part-time administrative staff to help expedite the project. Both functional manager and project manager manages the project budget. In a strong matrix, the project manager has a reasonable to high level of power and manages the project budget. The role of a project manager is full-time, and it has a full-time administrative staff to help expedite the project. In a projectized organization structure, the project manager holds the highest authority and manages the project budget. The project is managed by full-time project manager and administrative staff.
So the functional organization based on function, okay? So the characteristic is based on function or roles. Employees are grouped hierarchically, clear lines of authority, only one person on top, which is the project manager of that function, okay? If human resource, so the top is project manager for human resource. For example, in UTHM, we have the registrar, okay, pendaftar. Okay, so that is the functional organization. So registrar, all the staff, and they have one boss. And then bendahari, okay, dia ada staff dia, lepas tu dia ada satu boss. So that is functional organization. Okay, and it is in vertical information flow. Okay, contoh macam ni. Kita ada project manager, managing director. Okay, and then under managing director, we have this marketing director, site operation director, personal director, finance director. But in site director, we have different project manager which actually control each function. Satu function apa? Contohnya apa ni, macam saya cakap human resource. Okay, so this only focus on the human resource. Okay, and then seorang lagi bendahari lah contohnya. Okay, dia fokus pasal duit dia. Okay, masuk gaji dan sebagainya. Okay, and then project manager untuk project, dia jaga project saja. Okay, so the advantages reduce the prevent conflicts of interest because everybody just do their job. They have different functions. Okay, so kalau human resource, dia memang jaga human resource saja. Bendahari, dia jaga bendahari saja. Okay. Efficiency and clear lines of authority, communication and accountability. Workers easily coordinate and communicate within their departments. Work well for small and less project organization. Okay, this one you need to take note. Work well for small and less project organization. Task assignments consist with technical training, high quality technical problem solving, in-depth training and skill development with the function, and clear-cut career path within the function. Nampak dah? Okay, nanti bila project manager for that function dah retire, yang kita ni daripada bawah boleh naik atas. Naik grade, naik pangkat. Okay. But the disadvantages, project managers have limited authority and limited career path in this type of structure. Project managers sebab dia kan memang dia punya satu function je. So when you are at the top already, you cannot go anywhere. Dia dah tak boleh nak lompat dah pergi mana dah sebab dia dah paling tinggi. Okay. Poor communication and coordination across function because you only focus on your function. Kan buat kerja awak je. So susahlah nak bercakap dengan orang yang function lain. Having too many decisions referred upward in the hierarchy. For example, okay, the international student, how you want to register when you come here? You need to refer to CGS, right? Apa tu PS, CGS atau PS, Siswazah, Pusat Siswazah. And then you also need to refer to the faculty. And then you also need to refer to the international office. Okay, because they have this functional organization. The international office will deal with the immigration, the visa, everything. And then the CGS will deal with the registration on the new students. And then faculty will deal with the programs. Okay. So the communication to between this coordination will be very poor because you cannot the CGS cannot proceed with their work if the faculty do not approve. Okay, so the process is very slow. I had my student last year. They took 1 year because last year we have this COVID-19, the pandemic, so everything is online. And so they took 1 year. At that time, we just started. Before this, student need to come here and register and go to the CGS. And then suddenly, we start everything online. So 1 year to register as students in UTHM, which is very embarrassing. Sangat memalukan. Having too many decisions referred upward in the hierarchy and slow innovation in response to environmental challenges. So banyak sangat approval. Need to approve faculty and then go back to CGS and then need to after that then go to international office and come back to the CGS. So memang lambat lah. So this is example of project organization chart. So we have this one team in architecture team, one team in land surveyor, civil, one team, one function in civil and structure, M&E, quantity surveyor, and landscape under the consultant. And then under the project manager, under the project site team, also they have this a few function. For example, the QA and QC officer, dia bawah dia ada lagi dia punya staff. Project QSHA officer. Okay, and then they have this function, infrastructure, logistic, block 1, block 2, block 3, podium car park. They have actually given the task according to the function. Secondly is pure project organization. Okay, this the characteristic is project is separated from the parent system. Okay, it becomes self-contained unit and require major changes. Okay, hence a small, self-sufficient and full-time team is set up for that project. The team leader is like an entrepreneur. Leader has full responsibility over the project. So functional units are stable for provide support to project teams. So contohnya, you have a project untuk buat school. sekolah contohnya dekat Parit Raja. Okay, so this one team will responsible for the whole project. Dia tak ada bagi-bagikan, okay, admin siapa, apa semua satu projek ni. Dia tak ada function. Because selalu yang function tadi ada satu ketua, bawah ada function, dan dia ada projek bawah dia kan. So ni satu projek A ada satu group dia. Projek B ada satu group dia, manage everything. Projek C ada satu group yang manage everything. So this is our president. Contohlah saya CEO, saya president. Okay, I have a 3 project. So I will divide my staff into 3 teams. So under project A, project B and project C. So below the project then dia baru ada function dia, finance, manufacturing, macam tu. Kalau functional, presiden bawah tu dia punya function dia. Finance ada satu ketua project manager. Manufacturing ada satu ketua project manager. And dia control each function, control all the project. Project A, B, C for the functional. But for the pure project, it's divided by project. So the advantages, a strong divisiveness occur between the project team and the parent organisation. Sebab kalau projek kita sukses, macam kita best lah. Terus direct beritahu bos projek kita awal berapa ni compared to the plan, macam tu. And project manager has full line authorities over the project. Dia control betul-betul project tu. All project workforce directly responsible to the project manager. Lines of communication are shortened. Maintain permanent group of experts. High level of commitments, ability to make swift decision, unity of command, simple and flexible structure, and support holistic approach to the project. Sebab seorang je ketua, dia boleh terus, okay yang ni kita tukar apa, okay finance tak cukup duit, kita tukar macam ni. Project manager control everything. Kalau yang tadi tu, kena tunggu approve finance, unit finance. Okay, macam saya cakap tadilah, nak register student. So, kita project manager tapi kena tunggu project manager yang function lain. But in pure project, the project manager control the whole project. Okay. However, disadvantages, the project team members have difficulty in going back to their functional units when the project is over. And duplication of efforts. Sebab project A, B, C, dia mungkin dalam project A ada finance, project B ada finance, project C ada finance, but different people doing the same task because we have different staff according to the project. Satu project ni dah ada staff dia, satu project ni ada staff dia. So that's why duplicate an effort sebab ni pun buat finance but only for project A, yang ni pun buat finance only for project B, C tu pun dia buat finance only for project C. Okay. And when the project is finished, where we want to work? Go back. Some staff, contohnya dia punya club of work, apa semua tu, will go back to the company. But some of the staff akan di-terminate. Kena buang kerja lah kalau tak ada project. Kalau the company do not get new project. If you get new project, then you go to the project D. This A project finish, go to project D. The same group. Tapi kalau dia tak siap ataupun dia tukar, dia bantu projek certain people will be passed to the other project to help the other project yang tak siap ni kan. Tapi certain staff also will be terminated sebab dah tak ada job, tak ada project D, so dia orang kena buang kerja. Jadi bila company, contohnya saya CEO, team A, bila tak ada project D. Tapi bila dah ada project D, we'll be hiring a new staff for the D project. Faham Stockpile equipment and technical assistance just in case. Stockpile tu, that's why you need to manage very well your resources. Sebab kita ada 3 project, 3 team. Okay. So ni pun nak guna mesin crane contohnya. Yang ni pun nak guna crane, ni pun nak guna crane. Jadi kita kena ada 3 or more than that. So that's why kena susun supaya yang lepas yang ni guna, okay project B boleh guna. So the resources is minimized. Tapi bila kita tak susun, okay contohnya saya ni kaya, saya ada duit banyak, so saya kata okay beli je. Tapi bila dah tak ada projek, kita ada 3 crane yang tak pakai. Okay. Boleh sewa lah. Okay. Lack of expertise in high technology project. Because ni setiap project manager tu dia control satu projek. Dia tak ada masa untuk belajar lagi. Training lagi. Foster inconsistency and cutting corners. Project takes on a life of its own. Worry about life after project ends. This one is actually sama dengan yang ni. Bila dah project dah habis, dah risau dah. Nak pergi kerja mana pula lepas ni. Okay. And matrix organization yang ketiga ni is combination between the functional and project. Dia combine, jadi setiap function control project tertentu. Ada project manager untuk A, okay. Project manager untuk B, tapi under the functional punya organization. Nanti kita tengok macam mana. It's combination of function and project and suit for project-driven companies such as construction. People with similar skills are pulled forward assignments resulting in more than one manager. Jadi dah lebih daripada satu manager. Because one manager is for the project, the other manager is for the each function. Project manager has total responsibility and accountability for the project success. Okay, here. Okay, project A, dia ada project manager dia. However, department engineering have their own project manager. Department construction have their own project manager. Ni pun ada project control, procurement, financial. Ada project manager dia sendiri. But project A have their own project manager, B and C also. Okay, so for example, under department engineering, I have 3 staff. Okay, so one staff for project A, other staff for project B, and other staff for project C. Okay, so A1 will report to project manager for project A and also project manager in the department. Dia ada 2 boss. Okay, satu project manager dekat department dia, satu project manager dekat project tu. And project manager in project A need to have approval for each function ni juga, department ni. Okay, contoh financial, dia kena dapat approve daripada financial department to proceed with the financial for project A. Dia kena dapat approve dari department engineering to proceed with the engineering work for project A. So task project manager tu. Okay. So advantages, the individuals can be chosen according to the needs of the project, better coordination and policy decision, effective cost management, high visibility of project objective, high degree of coordination by project manager, flexible and minimal conflicts. However, we have personal dissatisfactions because you need to have approval from different functions, managers also. Okay, and difficulties in setting priorities and complexities of communication and control because you have 2 bosses. Can you imagine? And the project manager of project A, B or C need to have approval for each function in the department that control with the different project managers. So complexities of communication and control. Dia jadi terlalu banyak birokrasi lah. Nak kena kelulusan yang ni, kelulusan ni, function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4, then the project manager for project A can proceed. So complex sikit. Project can be difficult to monitor if teams have a lot of independence. Cost can be increased if more managers. Because you have project manager for the project, but you also have project manager for each function. And organization structure can help or hurt their ability to achieve success, give a large impact to the ability to manage a project. So macam mana nak select the most appropriate organization structure? So this is the consideration factors. It depends on the number of projects and their relative importance. Project duration sama. Resources, overhead costs, level of uncertainty in project, complexity and technology required. So this is considerations, factors that you can use to choose which organization type that's suitable for the project. And the also very important is the methods of project delivery. So in most cases, owner, designers, and constructors come together and to complete a construction project, and they after and then after it is complete, they disband and go their separate ways. Okay, that is commonly. So how a construction project could be organized in order to take it from the owner's concept to physical reality, because the owners have the idea, the concept, but we engineers will transform it into real. Okay, which organization are involved in every construction project life cycle, at specific phase or throughout the entire design and construction process. How to ensure the project will efficiently or effectively organize. So this is the questions, and there are four primary methods of project delivery. Okay, let's watch this video.
Building a new school or hospital, maybe you're remodeling an old office building. One of the first things to think about is this. Which construction delivery method is right for you? From hard bid to design build, there are several different methods to choose from. Let's take a look at each one so you can decide which one best fits your needs. First up, hard bid, also known as design, bid, build. This method is pretty straightforward. First, the owner, that's you, hires a designer. A designer draws up a set of plans and gets the owner's final approval. Next, the owner bids the work out to a few general contractors, or GCs, and hires the lowest bidder. The GC then begins work, hiring subcontractors as needed. And just like the general contractor, those subcontractors are hired based on lowest bid. Unfortunately, a lack of transparency means you don't normally get to see those bids and may never know if you've overpaid by the end of your project. Next up is Construction Management Agency, or CM Agency. Two key differences you'll see here are: one, the owner hires both the designer and the CM agent, aka CM, at the very beginning of the project. And two, you hire each of these firms based on their qualifications, not the lowest bid, and negotiate their fees. Once this is done, you'll work with the designer and the CM during the design phase to draw up the plans and produce estimates to keep the project in budget. This collaboration leads to fewer change orders down the road. As the owner, you hire the subcontractors, with the CM acting as a consultant representing your best interests. Plus, open book accounting means you have full access to all cost information for the project. But because you control the budget, subcontractors, and schedule, you also hold the risk. Another method to consider is Construction Manager at Risk, or CM at Risk. CM at Risk is similar to CM Agency in a few ways. One, the owner hires the construction manager based on qualifications with a negotiated fee. Two, the construction manager collaborates with the owner and architect during the design phase to help shorten the schedule, reduce the need for change orders, and build more value into your project. And three, you still have access to all project cost information in this open book delivery system. The key difference, however, is in the name of the delivery method itself. Instead of the owner, it's the construction manager who's at risk in this scenario. So exactly how much risk is the construction manager taking on? First, there are the subcontracts. And in this method, those subcontracts are awarded to the bidder who provides the most value. Schedule and quality, along with price, are taken into consideration here. If a subcontractor fails halfway through the project, the CM at Risk bears the burden of finding another sub to finish the work. Second, the CM at Risk must provide the owner with a guaranteed maximum price, meaning that any cost overruns come out of the construction manager's pocket, not yours. Third, the CM at Risk is bound to the construction schedule. Any additional costs for overtime or expedited materials needed to meet that schedule belong to the CM at Risk, not the owner. So if you're an owner taking on a large project, that risk to reward ratio can look pretty appealing. Finally, let's look at design build. The most collaborative of these delivery methods, design build calls for the contractor and design team to work together under a single contract from day one. This level of coordination from the outset greatly reduces change orders, shortens the entire project timetable, and adds more overall value for you. And you only need one contract to hold both your designer and builder accountable for design, budget, schedule, and risk. Now that you know a little bit about each, let's compare all four. First, how do they stack up in terms of transparency? In a hard bid project, the GC can spend your dollars on your project as he sees fit, without having to report back to you. But construction management and design build are all open book delivery formats, giving you full access to your project cost information. What about schedule? Here's a good rule of thumb. The sooner you bring your builder into the design process, the shorter the project schedule, with fewer change orders and more overall value. Another important consideration is the level of risk you, the owner, will be taking on. As you can see, the number of contracts the owner holds, and therefore the amount of risk, goes down as you go from CM agency to CM at risk to design build. Is a collaborative team approach important to you? If so, then construction management or design build might be right for you. Only in these formats do the builder and designer work together during pre-construction to predict and solve potential problems on paper before they become real problems on your job site. These are 4 common delivery methods used by the construction industry today. We hope this helps you find the one that's right for you.
So let's go and see the comparison between this. Yang ni yang dalam video tadi explain all these 4 methods, which is the traditional method, which is design, bid, and build.
Design, bid, build, also known as the traditional method, is a project delivery method most commonly used in today's building industry. It involves 3 basic parties: an owner or an owner group, an architect or a design team, and a builder, also known as a general contractor. In this type of project delivery, these 3 parties have separate functions and clearly defined responsibilities. The owner, the driving force behind a project, is responsible for funding it and providing the idea along with the general scope of their needs. The architect's responsibility is to provide the owner with a design solution based on their requirements. At last, the builder is responsible for executing the design and managing construction. The design bid build process is linear in nature and it has few distinct milestones. After the owner supplies the idea, they work with the architect to generate a clear design concept, which in turn guides the design phase. When the design phase is completed, bidding takes place and a contractor is selected who later builds the project. So what exactly is design bid build and where does it come from? Prior to the 19th century, simple buildings didn't require much architectural or engineering design. When people in the American colonies wanted such buildings, they hired craftsmen, not companies. These craftsmen were responsible for the conception and execution of those buildings, and there was no separation between design and construction as disciplines. The processes used for design and construction changed over time, and by the 19th century, they were heavily influenced by economy and technology. The Industrial Revolution opened doors for a wide variety of inventions and new construction products. These innovations gave birth to many multi-story complex buildings, too much for the traditional craftsmen to design on the job. In the last 1.5 centuries, the economic growth and the technological change have been the main source of fragmentation in the industry, leading to specialization on the job. At first, architecture and engineering were added to the university curriculums, and design slowly separated from construction. Architects and engineers formed professional organizations like the American Institute of Architects, or AIA. Later, building science was also added to the university curriculums, and organizations like Associated General Contractors of America, or ACGA, were founded. This way, craftsmen were displaced from the industry, and the relationship between today's architect and builder emerged. Architects provided the design, builders built what was designed, and the design bid build project delivery became common. It is a method in which the owner forms a separate contract with each of the parties involved, the design party and the construction party. In most projects, each of them can also form contracts with consultants in the case of the architect or subcontractors in the case of the general contractor. The traditional method differs from other project delivery methods in its 3 distinct and most importantly, linear phases: design, bidding, and construction. During the design phase, the design party will first carry out a schematic design, or SD, the goal for which is to arrive at a clear concept. After the owners review and approve approval, the design entity proceeds to more fully develop the design concept and preliminary specifications during what is known as design development, or DD. At the end of the design phase, after yet another review and approval of the owner, the architect prepares final drawings and specifications, also known as contract documents, or CDs. During the bidding phase, the owner, along with any professional assistance they might have, obtains competitive bids from a given number of qualified contractors based on the CDs completed earlier in the process. Each of the builders obtains a copy of the CDs, which is then either fully priced by them or split by subcomponents such as foundations, structure, electrical, and priced by their designated subcontractors. Once the owner receives the final bids, they will not be obligated to award the project to the lowest bidder. Rather, the choice will be made on the basis of price and builder confidence. At the end of the bidding phase, the project is awarded to a builder, the contract documents are updated if needed, and issued for construction. During the construction phase, almost every component of a project is supplied and installed by specialized subcontractors. The general contractor often provides work with their own forces, but it is not uncommon for them to limit their involvement in the process to managing construction work and daily site activity. There are some benefits in the design bid build method compared to other project delivery methods. The owner stays in a position of control over the participants throughout the process. It is the most widely used delivery method, easily understood by all owners, designers, builders, lawyers, and insurance companies. In some states, and for some public owners, it is the only delivery method approved by the law. It encourages competitiveness where contractors are asked to place the lowest bid based on plans and specifications, fosters objectivity where a contractor is chosen because his expertise allows him to work more efficiently and therefore to bid at a lower price. It suits owners that build buildings based on prototypical designs improved by iteration, such as schools, retail stores, and food chains. As long as the number of such owners is increasing, so will the use of the design bid build method. There are also some drawbacks to the design bid build method compared to other project delivery methods. Long schedules during which a design has to be completed for a contractor to make a bid, delaying activities such as site work or foundation work, which do not require design completeness. Increasing building complexity makes it impossible to prepare flawless plans and specifications. Sophistication and specialization move expertise from designers to fabricators and specialty subcontractors who are not in charge of preparing construction documents. Contractors have to create shop drawings because designers prepare construction documents that are not useful for construction. Due to the lack of collaboration and risk sharing, participants develop hostile relationships amongst each other, often leading to lawsuits. There are some variations in the execution of the traditional project delivery method. One such deviation is a different bidding process. In this hybrid, the owner obtains bids from only a few pre-selected general contractors based on qualification, expertise, or previous experience. After bidding proposals are submitted back to the owner, the contract is awarded to one builder, which leads to the building process described earlier. So when does design bid build work better and when is it most applicable? As mentioned earlier, the traditional method works best with prototypical designs improved by iteration, such as schools, retail stores, and food chains. In such cases, the design team can fine-tune the contract documents after each project is completed. The design bid build will continue to be used in sectors of the industry where mass production at low cost and high quality is demanded. In small-scale projects, it is still the number one project delivery choice, and for young professionals, it is the first milestone on the path to successful project delivery career.
Okay, memang dekat Malaysia pun kita masih lagi guna traditional project, which is the design bid build. And then the design build project, the turnkey, means that the project owner have hired this design, but the project owner do not have any contact with the contractor. The design, the build firm will hire contractors. Okay, so project owner, dia punya communication between the design and project owner je. Nanti dah siap, the design, the build firm or the designer will give key to the project owner. Serah je, turn key. Okay. The other one is construction management project, CM project. Okay, so this one, project owner have communication between these both, the designers and also the construction management. Okay, and they work together to hire the contractors, right? And the builders or agent arrangement or CM at risk. Owner will have communication with in-house design and also contract design, and then they will have this hire the owner contract coordinator, which the contract coordinator will hire contractors below. Okay, so the risk is under this owner contract coordinator. That's why they're agent arrangements. For DBB, design, bid and build, you need to finish one process and but the other one process. First, the design process. Siapkan dulu design, dah siap design semua, architecture design, structure design, semua dah siap, then you can go for open tender, the bid process. You go for open tender and hire contractor, barulah contractor tu buat construction. Okay, proceed with the construction. But for design build, this one, the designing and bidding process happen at the same time. Kita dah siap design untuk piling, for example. Okay, when the piling design completed, then kita dah boleh buka open tender. Okay, the design process are not finished yet. We only have the piling design. Tapi, however, we already open tender. So, major design of the change with involved piling. Piling tak ada change lah. And then, kita pergi untuk superstructure, substructure design. Tapi, tender kita dah buka. Dah bid process. So, when we are bidding the process, design kita ni, still kita buat on superstructure and substructure design. And then kita hire contractor. Waktu tu design kita ni masih lagi dekat hujung. Okay. On the superstructure design. So the contractor started with the piling, which already finished the design of piling before the bidding. Okay. Design piling dah siap dah kan. Lepas tu kita dah buka open tender, dah buka bidding. So bila kita dapat hire contractor, contractor dah boleh buat yang design piling kita yang dah siap tu. So the process, designing process, bidding process, construction process, actually kalau dekat sini dia working in parallel. So tiga ni dia dalam satu masa bergerak serentak. So we have time save. On the construction management, sama juga, kecuali construction management kita ada dua tadi, construction management at risk. Maksudnya risiko tu construction manager sendiri yang tanggung. Kita tengok the difference.
You've decided that you'd like to improve your home, and it's time to bring your dream space to life. Where to start? Traditionally, you would contact a design professional, discuss with them what you envision, and have them create a design for your perfect space. Once the drawings and design are complete, you'd bid out the design to various contractors. They'd eventually get back to you with the overall cost that your project would encompass. Then you choose a contractor. This traditional design bid build approach puts you, as the homeowner, in the middle of the designer and builder. Hopefully the project was designed to meet the budget. Often though, your dreams are bigger than your budget. It's one thing to design a space, it's another to build it within a budget. With the traditional approach, there is a disconnection between the designer and the builder. The designer will create plans based on what you want, not what you can afford. The builder will build based on what you can afford, not what you want. If you are over budget, you can either go back to the designer to spend more money and get a redesign, or you can stick with the original design, hire the lowest bidder, and cross your fingers that everything goes according to plan. It's not an ideal situation for a home. Frankly, you're not a remodeling expert. You have a budget to stick to. There has to be a better way. There is. What if delivery means using design and construction professionals who are committed and experienced in the specialized design build delivery model. These are professionals who genuinely enjoy the aspect of teaming together to provide exceptional design, management, and construction solutions. Overall, the design build delivery method offers an intelligent, efficient approach to your project. Design build projects are completed in the spirit of collaboration. Trust is established by offering the clients open access to pricing and billing, by respecting every opinion and idea, and by focusing on realistic, well-considered solutions. For many design build professionals, clients become friends because of the openness of communication and the genuine feelings of fulfillment that come from working together towards a common goal. There is a better approach to design and build a project with budget. The design build delivery model is how you accomplish this.
Traditional tu design, bid and build. Okay, so dia kena siap satu-satu and then bidding. When during the bidding, we actually choose the best contractor that can actually do the project. So kalau projek kerajaan, dia ada dia punya calculation, dia punya assumption how much the project can be delivered. Okay, for example, project 100 juta, 100 millions, okay. If the contractor, we do not choose the contractor that give the less ataupun paling kecil lah, paling murah, the bidding. For example, this one contractor said that they can finish 50 million only, half of the budget. Kita takkan pilih because it's not reasonable, tak logik. No way that the contractor can do the project 50 million. Kita akan pilih yang reasonable, maybe yang rendah sikit 90 millions, okay? Because the quality of the project also very important. Tapi kalau nak buat rumah, okay, orang kita hire yang paling, sometimes yang paling kecil itulah yang menipu. Saya pernah kena dulu, director Indonesia, so dia kata dia boleh buat lagi murah, dia cakap. Okay. Tapi bila kita bagi duit, hilang. So that is one of the reason lah. So bila kita ada bidding, kita pilih contractor, we can look at also the quality, the materials. Materials dia barang dia guna barang apa dan sebagainya. Sometimes the cost is low because they use low quality of material. Digitalization of the construction process using BIM. Okay, yang last week we learned the sustainable techniques, remember? How many techniques that we have? Constructability, BIM, Lean dan juga value management. So BIM is on the modeling, the 3D modeling. BIM is the future for construction because we will see the 3D modeling before the construction started. So everything can be tested. Dia punya wind velocity, the heat in the building, the air pollution, the everything. Okay. So modeling technology and associated set of process to produce, communicate, analyze, and use of digital information models throughout construction project life cycles. So that is BIM. So BIM is actually one of the ICT, information and communication technology, to help for the future construction. So CIDB in Malaysia also has established the National BIM Center or MyBIM as one of the stop center facilitate the implementation of BIM in Malaysia. So the BIM is actually recognized as an advanced ICT. Okay, so it can actually enhance process in management and transform the construction industry by enhancing efficiency, productivity and quality. Okay, you can go to this link for more information on MyBIM. Okay, construction collaboration technologies. We have this actually the extended extended for information technology, technologies that provide access to information through telecommunications, focus primarily on communication technology. It includes internet, wireless network, cell phones, and other communication medium which enable users to access, store, transmit, and manipulate information. Semua pakai sistem lah sekarang ni. For example, in UTHM also everything is done through SMAP online. You all nak register subject dan sebagainya kan, semua pakai SMAP online. Select your supervisor. So that is the use of ICT. Kita punya internet pun sekarang dah okay lah compare dengan sebelum ni, betul tak? Kalau sebelum ni you all kena pergi library baru dapat internet yang bagus kan? So ICT becomes a vital tool for managing information and large amount of project information generated and used during the various stage in project life cycles. Kita dah banyak software, dah banyak waktu design, kita ada banyak software juga, and along the way tu pun kita ada software baru. Contoh macam BIM ni kita ada model, 3D model. Sharing and maintaining this information among multiple disciplines and throughout the project life cycles is complex and difficult task. So bila ada ICT, kita boleh share the same information with a correct information. Okay, tak jadi macam telefon buruk tadi tu. So how to implement ICT in construction? Information management. That is very important. So why bother information management? Because traditional methods have not always worked. Selalu ada macam lambat. Why the project late is actually sometimes because of the lack of supply, bad information in management, and losing of the information. That is very bad. Sebab bila kita pergi dekat orang bawah, dia kata, oh, we do not get the information, we don't know that. Okay, itu yang masalah dia. Scale of building works has changed. Simple project, little information, while big project may involve a lot of information. And involvement large number of people. So instructions should be received when needed, easily understood, and clear record of authorized parties. Kita nak nanti ada terima arahan daripada bos, dia cakap, oh tu kerja orang tu, tu kerja orang tu. So at the end, no one done the instruction because they thought somebody else will do it. Okay. So this is actually the traditional fragmented and sequential project delivery process, di mana every parties have work in silos. Okay. Dia bekerja ikut dia punya dia punya group masing-masing. So the ideas, Giga report, design, detail, construction planning, construction and operation. Okay. So what is the problem? The causes of problem in the adoption and utilization of integrated IT system because of poor management and communication. Okay, because previously, tengok dekat sini. So when you have the ideas, you have the report. And then this report go to conceptual design. And then when the design do their conceptual design, they will go to detailed design. And then detailed design pergi dekat construction planning and then construction and operation, which involve so many documentation and communication need to be done properly so that they will understand all this. Okay, so problems there, poor management and communication, the fragmented nature of the industry, lack of standardization of uniform procedure, and number of participants involved in the project, because we have so many experts in the field. Kita ada engineer, kita ada architecture, kita ada contractor yang construct. Okay, so contractor tu pula ada specialist dia. Ada yang buat M&E, ada yang buat piping, ada yang buat infra. There are so many participants involved. So we can change the system. We can have so many systems, we can change the system, but we cannot change people using system. Macam mana kita nak ubah orang tu? We cannot change the people, right? So this is the people. So where are we? That is the question.